For years, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, has been intentional in shaping sound education delivery in our public universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education through the provision of requisite infrastructure, book and library development, thesis digitization, academic and non-academic staff training, information and stepping up investment in information communication technology ICT, to mention a few. In fact, President Tinubu's spirited and undisguised resolve at ensuring students of tertiary institutions attain digital literacy before graduation has galvanized the interventionist-in-chief in moving further afield in the ICT realm by strategically entering into a partnership with the Anthology and Blackboard team in keeping with developments in other forward-looking nations of the world in tertiary education space. The collaboration with the world-renowned team is built to enhance accessibility and affordability of online educational offerings, which is a critical step towards addressing the all-important need for boosting education reforms in Nigeria. The visit of the Anthology team to Nigeria last year indicated a deliberate move to consolidate this crucial partnership. A germane effort deemed necessary in the aftermath of the COVID-19 pandemic that exposed the vulnerabilities of the traditional educational system. Anthology's impressive global footprints of supporting over 150 million users in more than 4,000 universities in over 80 countries puts TETFund and by extension the nation's tertiary institutions in pole position to reap invaluable benefits from the worldwide edutech giant. The Blackboard Learn project, a key aspect of this alliance, is particularly noteworthy. Already boasting of an enrollment of about 3 million Nigerian end users across 253 institutions, this innovative teaching methodology will also enhance learning a great deal, apart from ensuring that TETFund beneficiary institutions stand shoulder to shoulder with other students' communities all over the world in all areas bordering on education technology. Professor Tahir Mamman, Nigeria's Minister of Education, unfolded the broader vision of the Tinubu administration for education reform at all levels before the Anthology team, who paid him a courtesy visit in his Abuja office in the company of TETFund executives led by the Executive Secretary, Architect Suni St. He affirmed he is a firm technology adherent and praised TETFund for getting the collaboration running, especially with its inherent potentials of revolutionizing and globalizing Nigeria's tertiary education landscape, even as he went on to describe the agency as one of the very efficient national institutions. With the unwavering drive of TETFund at ensuring the infusion of technology into curriculum and instructional delivery process in Nigeria public tertiary institutions, the interventionist agency has emerged the winner of the 2024 Anthology Visionary Award for leadership in transforming education through technology. The Executive Secretary, Architect Sonia St. gave insights on the journey that ultimately culminated into this great and giant feat.
The journey started effectively since 2016, when Nigeria decided to draw an ICT roadmap. And it's against the background of the realization that education is changing, and also the circumstances that we have. We have a youthful population with a high rate of growth, and it was observed that given the other competing needs that we have, we will not be able to have all the resources to continue to provide classrooms or even to produce teachers for all those who require tertiary education. So it was reasoned rightly too that we needed to begin to plan, to find ways of being able to expand access beyond the four walls of the classroom. And technology was the easiest way to leverage on to see how we can do that. Also, disruptions that occur. We used to have a culture of strikes and all that when things happen. When COVID came, it was really a major impetus that when you have lockdowns, when people are not able to move, education should still continue. So TETFund keyed in onto this and drew a roadmap that we have been implementing. So when I came on board, I just added impetus to it, knowing that the need has become more urgent.
The event, which took place in Orlando World Center in the United States of America before a global audience of over 2,000 participants drawn from the academia, saw the Executive Secretary receiving the award on behalf of the agency. During a sit-down with the steersman in his office, he spoke about his takeaway from the historic event and unwrapped its inherent benefits to the Nigerian tertiary institutions.
At the event, they also were able to unveil new programs, new directions, and new products in the industry. We were able to see the collaboration that they have right now. We are not only dealing with Anthology and Blackboard, but they also have a wider collaboration, and they are dealing with Amazon, they are dealing with Microsoft, all in partnership. And we saw a whole lot of that on display. The direction that education is going in many of these countries and how we need to take urgent steps. So we don't keep trying to catch up. We need to leapfrog and then be at par with some of these institutions so that our graduates will also be able to produce global citizens who can compete at all levels. Some of the things that students who go abroad are taking for granted, because we always have that challenge. Even when we send our scholars for postgraduate courses, the transition for them, they have a learning curve because of the deficit of some of this infrastructure back home. They are now having to come and learn and know how before they adjust. But now, with what we have, the offerings we are offering our students and the learning experience they are going to have, the quality of our education will be at par with any institution across the globe.
With the unveiling of the Tertiary Education Research and Application Systems (TERAS) and Beneficiaries Identity Management System (BIMS) platforms in Abuja on the 17th of October 2023 by the Education Minister Professor Tahir Makman, there is little doubt that the laudable initiative has been providing veritable planks for a wide array of services to students and researchers, apart from deepening the overall learning process in the higher realm of public institutions. The feedbacks being garnered from the field have been very encouraging and are in tandem with the yearnings of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, fitting snugly into the renewed hope agenda of his administration for the education sector.
We are grateful to the Almighty for what has been accomplished so far by TETFund, but we must also give due credit to Mr. President. Since the advent of this administration, Mr. President made it very clear from day one that he was going to focus on education. He recognized the importance of education in his renewed hope agenda, the plan for us to prepare our population and to ensure that every child, every Nigerian child, have access to education, because it is so crucial, it's so transformative. You know, it is the basis for all forms of growth and development. And that is why he's been addressing the issue of access. So, in terms of access, even the children of the less privileged, he's saying, let's have a loan scheme. He's expanding scholarships. They're doing so much in the area of also improving facilities. We are working on upgrading the standards, the quality of education, the experience of our students. And this is also a critical element in that. So we're providing infrastructure. And this infrastructure is supposed to enable us, train people, and make them more capable. So we are increasing their productivity. We are improving their skill set. So you don't just have a laboratory that is not functional. You don't have, you don't carry out research and then you are sending samples abroad. And some of these particular specific interventions we are doing. That is why currently as we speak, all across our campuses, we've just commenced the upgrade of laboratories and workshops. In our polytechnics, we're encouraging them to identify specific sectors where they will play and they will develop skills, not just for their students, even extend this to the community, so they can provide the workforce that will meet our national developmental needs.
TETFund is also supporting over 280 public tertiary institutions and have put critical plans in place in ensuring that students attain digital literacy before leaving the tertiary education system. For educators, the fund has designed a phased action plan which will equip them with the necessary digital skills apart from facilitating critical partnerships with global bodies, all on a bid towards enhancing their work efficiency and effectiveness. To further demonstrate its unshaken commitment in this regard, the agency has also established the National Center of Excellence for Development of Digital Literacy and Emerging Skills. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TETFund, architect Suni St. has been lauded widely for his exemplary and incisive leadership skills that have engendered numerous positive wins for Nigerian tertiary institutions individually and as a body. In recognition of his industry, insightfulness, innovativeness, intuitiveness, and the inspiration he brings to bear on his staff, the academia, workers' union, and a host of others in the line of duty, architect Suni St. was recently honored with a prestigious leadership award in London, United Kingdom by the influential African Leadership magazine. The international publication, renowned for telling the African story from the African perspective and promoting the good in Africa with fervor, is also at one with seeking ways in which Africa can intellectually confront and combat its multiple challenges. The honor bestowed on the engaging architect recognizes his magnificent leadership, transformative reforms, and also gives credence to his outstanding contributions to the tertiary education space in Nigeria, and in doing so, buoying the Executive Secretary's reputation as an inventive leader who is committed to advancing the third-tier education course. The path towards this honor was stoked when a team from Africa Leadership magazine, led by its publisher Dr. Ken Giami, paid a visit to TETFund headquarters to present a copy of the magazine and formally invite the Executive Secretary for the award.
TETFund exemplifies leadership commitment to education development. Now, reading through the interview we had with you, I saw a leader on a mission. I saw a leader with a passion, not just for developing education and taking it to the next level, but a leader who wanted practical implementation of what research should do, linking education to entrepreneurial development, linking education to societal impact. I spoke with our partners at the UK House of Lords. We've worked with them over the years. I shared an advanced copy of your interview with them, and I was asked to invite you to the UK House of Lords during an event to address members on what you're doing and how they can key in. In fact, one of them happens to be chairman of one of the leading universities, Royalton, as well as Southampton Chancellor, and they said they want to take this conversation to the next level to discuss how you can take collaboration between UK universities and TETFund and what you're doing here.
The award ceremony was part of the 9th African Leadership Magazine Summit with the theme Africa Unleashed, Navigating Disruptions, Enhancing Opportunities, and was witnessed by policymakers, business leaders, diplomats, and leaders of thought to discuss sustainable socio-economic development in Africa. Since assuming office in 2022, architect Suni St. has overseen the completion of several physical infrastructural projects, providing essential facilities for academic activities. These efforts have created a conducive learning environment, equipping students and educators with the necessary resources to succeed in their endeavors. The Executive Secretary spoke on what it takes for Africa to take its rightful place at the world stage, given its abundant human and material resources.
Nigeria and Africa have huge potentials, and I identified that. We are the new frontier Some of the economic indices are also good. Some of the fastest growing economies on the continent. There is some degree of macroeconomic stability that has been created. If you can reduce conflicts, if you can reduce all these either communal or religious or other conflicts on the continent, if we are able to forge greater integration and partnerships and collaboration, if we're able to invest in our people to improve the quality of our human capital and their productivity, if we're able to harness, if we're able to partake and see opportunities, for example, in environmental sustainability and climate action, there's a whole lot. It throws in a whole new range of opportunities that industries will grow, the research efforts will develop new products, there is resilience and adaptation and all sorts of possibilities that come with that. Why should we not modernize our mining? Why should we not modernize our agriculture? And these are the things that Africa needs to do. And when Africa does this rightly, it will be the #1 continent in the world.
The Science Granting Council's initiative, SGCI, is a multi-funder initiative aimed at boosting the capacities of 17 science granting councils, SGCS, in sub-Saharan Africa. These councils contribute copiously towards enhancing national research and innovation ecosystems in their individual countries. The goal is mainly achieved through funding mechanisms that involve competitive calls for proposals targeting research and innovation projects. TETFund is one of the 17 members of the Sub-Saharan Africa Science Funding Council's initiative, SGCI, which seeks to bolster science financing councils in supporting research and evidence-based policies that contribute to the socio-economic development of countries. TETFund and Innovate Hub, an innovation-centric organization, have always collaborated to burnish innovative ideas among researchers and academics in Nigeria. The collaboration has produced grants from the Science Granting Council's initiative, SGCI, for 18 selected participants grouped into 4 teams through the TETFund Research for Impact R4I program. The collaboration will no doubt spawn more gains for human capital development, research and development advancement, homegrown solutions, economic growth, and national development. The cherry news was brought to fore during the inauguration of the funding at the Innovate Center, Abuja. The 18 members selected from the Nigerian academia will utilize the grant to advance their innovations already developed at the Innovate Hub during their R4I program. This success story was made possible with TETFund's sure-footed collaboration with Innovate Hub, through which Nigerian academics can now be afforded the opportunity of translating their ideas into innovations, solutions, and prototypes worthy of advancement to the next level of minimum viable product. With the theme Driving Africa Innovation Through Research and Development, the inauguration was witnessed by stakeholders from the National Universities Commission (NUC), National Board for Technical Education (NBTE), Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TETFund), National Commission for Colleges of Education (NCCE), and the Association of African Universities, Ghana. In his remarks, TETFund's Executive Secretary, Architect Soni St. said the initiative was born out of the Research for Impact program R4I, which he said started about 12 months ago. He noted that the agency will ensure timely and effective reporting of the project, including the financial reporting when due. Representing Architect Echono at the event, TETFund's Director of Research and Centers of Excellence, Dr. Salihu Bakari, assured the Science Granting Council's initiative, SGCI, that the project are being implemented as detailed.
I must emphasize that for whom much is given, much is expected. We also have a duty to ensure that there is timely and effective reporting of the project and financial reporting as and when due. And I want to assure the SGCI, the ACTS, and Ms. Ruth in particular, that we are going to implement, we are going to dutifully take our responsibilities and ensure that projects are implemented the way and manner is consummated and expected.
Dr. Bakari also commended the grantees' initiatives and urged them to always think beyond the box and be creative. In ways that seek to ensure its mandate on research and innovation is always on the front burner, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TETFund) established the National Contact Point (NCP) last year to serve as a vehicle for information gathering and dissemination of opportunities available on research grants globally. The setting up of the contact point is born out of the desire of tapping into the potentials which the African Union (AU) and European Union (EU) partnership on research and innovation bring with them. At the presentation of the work program of the Nigerian Contact Network for 2023-2024 in Abuja, Architect Soni Th. had regretted the fact that Nigeria has not been able to participate effectively in the EU Research Funding Framework Program until very recently. Speaking further at the event, the Executive Secretary affirmed that the fund has initiated the process to ensure that the researchers from Nigerian higher education institutions participate effectively in the EU Research and Innovation Framework Program, notably the Horizon Europe. Mr. Tokwe Togun, TETFund's consultant on innovation, recently highlighted in an interview why Nigeria needs to start collaborating with the European Union on research as a matter of urgency.
That collaboration started in 2022, and it has opened the door for Nigerian researchers to be able to participate in EU-funded research projects. The last one was Horizon 2020, and it ran for 7 years. So, TETFund, the Executive Secretary, then raised the issue that why are we not in this proposition? And we went to Brussels. The ES led the delegation to the European Union Commission, where we sat down with them, spoke about TETFund's interventions in the area of research already and how it could prepare the ground to meet the requirements and the conditions for Nigerian researchers to start participating. That was where it all started from.
He also said TETFund is providing further support to the NCP network to enable it to mobilize the Nigerian research community effectively to allow them benefit from the platform and training program built for deployment by the EU delegation.
So now specifically in terms of the Horizon Europe proposition, we have started preparing Nigerian researchers in terms of improving the quality of their research grant applications. We now have a fully structured national contact point network, which is a key requirement for any country that is organizing its participation in the EU framework program. You must have an NCP network. Nigeria now has an NCP network, initially set up by TETFund and then joined by the Ministry of Innovation, Science and Technology to bring on board researchers from public research institutes.
TETFund is supporting research groups from various Nigerian universities through provision of training and mentoring on writing successful grant applications, project management, partnership, and consortia development to further complement and extend the support being made available by EU delegates. Currently, the fund has released a request for expression of interest from Nigerian researchers and research teams. TETFund will spearhead the formation of a bilateral agreement on research and innovation between Nigeria and the EU under the auspices of the Ministry of Education and in collaboration with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Science and Technology and Innovation. According to the words of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I believe that there is no vehicle that can transport you to your destination as safely as education. It is a reason every child, regardless of their background, awaits a future of vast possibilities. It is safe to say that TETFund's highly tuned vehicle that has been transporting students of higher learning to their destination of vast possibilities has never broken down for a day since it was engineered. Rather, the vehicle has always been retrofitted with modern technological amenities and gadgetries at every turn in order to keep it tip-top shape for its avowed mission of fulfilling the dreams of the Nigerian child. For the intervention agency, the consistent, compelling and critical delivery of good performance is a sine qua non of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda on tertiary education.